back on more than law. Cody Henry Show. Trivia and sousaphone. The Cody Henry Show. The Cody Henry Show. It's a real show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, Scott Reynolds, I see you're in the chat. Is everything sounding okay so far? Can you hear me? Scott Reynolds, guitarist from a band called Spatula Face way back in the day. Let's see. Tapes labeled in living color, do not throw away. Okay, I won't do that, man. Scott, can you hear everything? Today is very special because it's the first time I've had a guest via Zoom, and we have quite the history. We were college roommates. We played a lot of video games and watched a lot of movies together, and we also made a lot of music together. We were both in the Wind Symphony at SIUE. Hey, Scott can hear me. That's good news. Okay, well, I'm gonna bring him in right now because I'm not. Let's just not waste any time, huh? Hold on a second, and then I'm gonna put his sound up. So I'm gonna put his sound up right now. They should be able to hear you right now, Joe. And where the hell is it? It's right here. Whoa.
Fantastic. Hey, everybody. It is it's fantastic to be the first live guest on the Cody Henry Show, and welcome to our VHS box unboxing. I mean, when Cody Henry asked you to go through a big box of VHS tapes, you just say, "What night?"
You're right. You're absolutely right. You can't refuse me.
No.
And Scott, look, you're like, since you're the only person in the chat right now, you're also a guest on the show because I can see the chat right here, and it's in the video for the first damn time. You'll see whenever I see you, and that's kind of a fun thing. I might implement into further into future shows, but yeah. So Joe, real quick, I got to thank Brian Fritz for helping me out trying to figure this stuff out. He made it easy. And thanks to everybody who's like shared the stream, of course. As I was saying before, Joe and I both grew up. Okay, I was born in '84. I assume '84, '83. 82, something like that, right, Joe?
Yep,
and
yep,
so you grew up in the 90s like I did, and VHS was just like a thing that was around the house. Everybody had a VCR, and
Yeah, and I think one of the great joys of growing up at that time was just going to the video store, walking through the aisles, being brave enough to walk down the horror aisle and just take in all those covers of terrible movies that were somehow chilling, just chilling. There was one in particular that had a disembodied hand that had a key that was unlocking a door, and I remember that one really got to me. And it's just a hand. You could just smack that thing away.
Do you remember what the movie was?
I have no idea what that movie was. I do not know.
I remember I specifically remember watching, or like, okay, so like one summer at my mom's work, she worked with an insurance company. There was a grocery store next door, and there was a video rental store next by. They also had game rental as well, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, you'd go down like the horror aisle and you'd see something like Critters, and you'd be like, "What the hell is that?" You know, freaking Critters.
Yep. And then so you just wander back to the comedy section, and you see Back to the Future 1 through 3, and you're like, I'm fine now. But yes, Critters, man, what a box. That's fantastic.
I mean, he was.
stuff.
They were. The box was scarier than the movie, to be honest.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely. Like,
but yeah, that video store is very small. There was also that was like in like I guess technically Ditmer, Cedar Hill area or something like that. Way the hell out here. The other one that I went to a lot was DeSoto, and it was right next to a Schnucks. So usually, like, you know, when we were at an age where we could be trusted, my mom would go grocery shopping, and then we would go to the rental shop and just start going to town, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And of course, there was lots of like, you know, you rent something and like if it was a game or something like that, it just ruined your whole weekend if it was a bad one. But yeah, movies. Holy crap! Lots of them came in VHS. And what would you say? What are some of the best qualities of VHS, Joe?
Oh, I mean, it's the poor video quality. You know, there's going to be so many issues probably on any given thing that you watch. You know, it's all the lines of static that you're going to see right up front. It's all of those sort of things. The fact that there's a possibility if you're renting that it's not even going to be rewound and you're going to have to go through that whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's these are the things that I often think that like my kids are just never really going to know those terrible joys.
There was no, I mean, there's no reason to have a movie rental place anymore. I mean, even like the Redbox stuff it's obsolete now.
Yeah, it really is.
You know,
it really is.
Because through streaming and even through, I mean, even while DVD still kept those places alive, but like but yeah. What else? The bat, yeah, it was so grainy and everything. The quality and the sound would dip in certain places, and you remember you had to mess with the tracking, like you had to like it would
yeah.
you know, and you'd have to like try to get like the I mean look at this display that I have right here. You can't see it, Joe, but everybody else can, unless you're watching the live feed somewhere else without sound. But all this stuff that's up here, you would have to hit the tracking. You'd have to like, you know, turn it, or it might be like a little button or whatever, but like just to try to get that stuff out of here. So yeah. Kids aren't gonna know.
No, but I also love just all of the models of VCRs. You had the top loader and the side loader, and the top loaders were so futuristic. They're so great, and we had one of those at home, and I remember like looking for excuses to use it because it's just it's so awesome. You never really seen it. I've never seen anything like that since.
Now, did you ever what's the word I'm looking for here? Crap, I lost it. We're something. Damn it! I lost my train of thought, Joe.
Oh, good.
It happens. I was gonna say, have you ever recorded something like maybe off the TV? Like maybe you're trying to record, like, oh man, Hook is on TV. Let's record it.
Oh yeah. We had the Disney Channel early on, and I think we had a handful of recordings, and then of course the other one. Like everyone else in the U.S., we had recordings of all of the holiday specials. So like all of the Garfield holiday specials and Halloween and Christmas
Definitely the Halloween
and all of that. Absolutely. So you didn't buy that. You just recorded it from the TV and it lived in your house. And then you labeled it. And sometimes the label was wrong, but assuming it wasn't, it was a delight to come back later and have this huge compilation of holiday specials.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Scott's asking over here, did you ever dub a movie? It would fade in and out, or the sound would be horrible. No, I've never dubbed a movie. I didn't have that technology. My dad rented a movie called Slime City. It was bad. Well, thanks for that.
Cody,
he also
before we get it,
he also I should mention one more thing. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Scott also mentioned the movie Basket Case. Did you see that?
Oh my God, that's so quality. It's ridiculous. I mean, obviously there's the Green Day connection, but then I mean, that movie is so amazing. Like stop motion is so creepy.
What if there's what if there's one of those things in here?
If he's in there, I'm not just gonna disconnect. I have to let you know that I'll stick around till the very end, Cody. Don't worry.
Okay.
Before we get going, I have to ask. What was the first rated R movie that your parents rented and you watched at home? Do you remember?
Oh man, that's a good question. I feel like, oh man, What could that be? Probably Terminator 2. I feel like that's like the
Oh,
first.
that's great.
That was rated R, right? I think so.
Yeah, it was. It was.
very
Yeah,
violent.
my parents rented Backdraft. Backdraft was my first rated R movie, and obviously it was VHS because I mean, too early for DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quality. It's a lot of great memories of that sort of stuff, and yeah,
Absolutely.
2-day rentals, good stuff, man.
Yeah. And so, anyways, here I have it. I got the VH. It says VHS C&T Henry, and it's in a box. That's it was for a steamer. I guess the brand is called Rival. And there's a lady here. She's eating something green. It doesn't look steamed at all.
She is into it.
It doesn't look steamed at all. And well, actually, you can't tell because my green screen is on. So it looks like she's eating nothing. It disappeared into the background, which was really funny. But
I just wish that someday I could eat something and have that much joy on my face while eating it.
She's an eating model.
I mean, she looks good while eating. I mean, not a lot of people do.
Well,
anyway,
I wasn't prepared enough to bring a pair of scissors. So how do you open up boxes? You get a pin that's close by, and you stab it in there. Yes, that got it started. All right, just carving a turkey here.
I mean, we should note to the viewers at home, there's a possibility that there might be a there is a steamer in here,
dude. You're gonna love the first thing I found.
Oh, I'm
and
so
it's the
excited.
only thing showing. Open, you bastard! There we go. Look at. It's not gonna fall out.
Oh man!
But can you see it?
Oh wow! Yeah, that
it's
is
Army
really
of Darkness director's cut.
It's the director's cut, so it's really good. That's the one with the alternative ending.
Yes,
where he drinks the liquid.
Yes.
And it's great. It's a great dark ending to that movie. Man, that's fantastic. What
Look
man,
at how ripped the artist made him.
Bruce Campbell was never that ripped, and they just went out. It's great. All of it. Fantastic.
This is gonna be a great
metal hand.
Yeah, look
everything.
At that. There he really is.
Yeah, the actual guy, and then of course the deadite on the bottom.
And that guy,
gold clamshell.
And his evil ash, I mean, actually kind of looks like he belongs on the box of Critters.
He does. He does look a little. Yeah. Huh. That man, fantastic. Gold clamshell.
And it looks like I did rewind.
Good for you.
So I did the right thing.
Oh, fantastic.
My mom raised me right. And there's the first movie. Do you have anything you want to say about Army of Darkness?
I mean, it's Evil Dead 2 is my favorite always, just because I love the blend of horror and comedy. Army of Darkness is much more just straight comedy, but man, oh man, so funny. And just it just lets Bruce. I think I quoted that just the other night with its Klaatu Barata,
yes,
and it's just, I mean, like there's just 1,000,003 fantastic one-liners in there.
I mean, it's one of those movies you didn't realize was quoted so heavily. Like also in my youth, I remember playing Duke Nukem, which Duke Nukem was just like a wealth of quotes from the Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead. Well, mostly Army of Darkness, it seems, right?
Yeah. And I always love how Sam Raimi kind of throws back to that stuff, even into the Spider-Man movies and things like that. There would always be a scene or two that kind of had those quick cuts, those fast zooms, stuff calling back the Evil Dead series. I love that.
Yes.
Awesome.
Let's see what. So some of these are. Oh, this one was definitely my mom's. This was if she's watching right now. It's The Cutting Edge, starring D.B. Sweeney and Maura Kelly. It's about a hockey player that becomes a figure skater. You can tell because the back of the box says so.
This looks like a very sensitive movie.
It's kind of like Blades of Glory, with Will
Yeah.
Ferrell and that Napoleon Dynamite kid. Except
Yeah,
for
yeah. You remember John Heater?
John Heater, that's
whatever
his
happened
name?
to that guy? Anyway,
I hope he's doing okay.
yeah, I'm sure he's doing fine.
Somebody tag John Heater in the comments.
He's doing all right.
Speaking of hockey,
Oh man,
D2, the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. I mean, they've seemingly forgot all the skills from the first one, and
and they're chewing bubble gum.
they bring in a cowboy, I think, and the figure skater to face off against the Icelanders.
There's the connection right there between these two movies is figure skating and hockey. And because you're right, there's a figure skater that distracts the goalie, and then they score on him.
A spin. It's a really good move. And then the flying V doesn't work.
No, the Icelanders are hip to it. My mom also says she has it on Amazon, so that's great. And there was also like a new guy that was like kind of like the beat 'em up guy, and then there was there was the speed skater, the Latino speed skater. All right, look at this one. Toy Story.
Oh yeah. Funny enough, I did not watch Toy Story even when after we lived together, actually, through college. I finally went to see it in a double feature with Toy Story and Toy Story 2, and when they re-released them in 3D in the theater. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was like, what was I thinking? I missed out on that for some 10 years after it was released. It's a great movie.
So before we started streaming, everybody, we were talking about, like I made a reference in the email invite to Joe about a movie called Zoom, starring Tim Allen. And so we got to talking about that. So Tim Allen, that reminds me, just because he's of course he's Buzz Lightyear, but like this must have been after Galaxy Quest, which was a great movie. But like Zoom, he's like it's I watched it with my family for the first time. I was telling Joe the first song that came up was Smash Mouth, and then the second song was by Smash Mouth, and then the third and fourth song were by Smash Mouth. And that's all you need to know about that movie. It's Tim Allen post Galaxy Quest, and it's Smash Mouth post Shrek, I think.
They were scoring the movie, and they were like, we'll just put a bunch of placeholders. We're just putting these Smash Mouth songs in. We're gonna replace them, and then they just ran out of time. And they're just like, just have the entire soundtrack by Smash Mouth.
There was a time when Smash Mouth was just on top of the world, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were.
Right.
Shameless plug for Tim Allen. Check out Home Improvement Doom. Someone has made a mod where every single texture in the game, every single texture in the game is Tim Allen. From the gun to the firing effect to every single enemy to every single wall. It is wild and worth the watch. There's a 15-second video on YouTube. It's so funny.
That
great.
sounds amazing. Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Quality. Yeah. We were gonna watch this the other night. We didn't get to it, but we're gonna watch it. See, my kids love this movie, so it's timeless. It has a couple curse words in it, but that's okay.
It's so funny. I feel like the amount of cursing. We watched the Goonies earlier.
Yeah.
I watched the Goonies for the first time with my kids. A lot of cursing in that movie. Great movie. But I was like, oh man, they're pushing it. It's kind of interesting. I watched The Princess Bride when I was in high school for the first time, and it was under the guise of you're gonna love it, greatest movie ever made. It is not the greatest movie ever made, but it is so good. It has so much character and so many fantastic lines. I love that movie.
Yes.
Great movie.
The score for this was definitely all Casio keyboard.
Oh yeah.
It was
all the time.
It was all memorable music, but like every time it's going on, I'm like singing along with it. All the little like music cues, but it's like it's the fake clarinet on a Casio keyboard.
Oh yeah, or the trumpet fanfare. The trumpet fanfare is the one always me. Yeah. Like you could have gotten an actual. Yep. Oh, Queen of Refuse.
Rubbish, filth, slime.
Amazing.
As good as it gets. I've never seen this movie, so In fact, this whole stack right here, this is the stack that Cutting Edge came from. This might be my mom's because the next one is a Sandra Bullock movie. While you were sleeping. So it's. I mean, that's definitely. And the other possibility is that some of this is my wife's, but maybe it was her collection from high school. I don't know, but
as good as it gets is fine. It's Jack Nicholson wanting to end up with Helen Hunt, I think. And but that last one, I would assume that maybe one of those characters is in a coma, and then they wake up and their nurse, either male or female, has fallen in love with them, and I just wrote that. I mean, that was
web of lies.
Yeah, they lie about their status or something, and then they end up together, and then it ends on Two Princes by
Spin Doctors.
Spin Doctors. Thank you. Yes,
I was gonna use them for. It said one hit wonders, but Spin Doctors, Two Princes. They also had Little Miss, Little Miss, so they're like a 2-hit wonder.
Yeah, you can't do that. But yeah, oh man, Two Princes. What a song.
I can't ignore Scott Reynolds over here. He asks, "You killed my father." What's that quote? My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
That's right.
Prepare to die.
And Mandy Patinkin in that role.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, Mandy Patinkin, excellent singing voice, really, really good. He was in a very, very short cameo in a Mr. Show movie, actually, Run Ronnie Run, where he plays. It's very funny, great movie. Recommend. It's fully on YouTube. If you check that one out too.
I'll have to rewatch it. I watched it like years ago, and I
funny
remember it
movie.
being good. I found the first Mighty Ducks.
There we go.
This is the one where Douglas Dorsey, played by Emilio Estevez, puts a bunch of kids at risk by driving onto a frozen lake. He risks they almost all die. And he's like, trust me.
Child endangerment was fine whenever it was, calculated enough. I want to say it's also the same coach, the enemy coach, the antagonist coach is the same coach from Rudy. I'm pretty sure. I might be way off base there. But he played
Percy in or Perry? Yeah, Perry in the Superman: The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
Okay.
Yes. Or is it the other way around? Lois and Clark,
we're talking about Superman. That's it. Yeah.
He was the
Caesar's ghost.
Yeah, he was the leader of the boss at the Daily Bugle.
He got tired of being the antagonist coach and wanted to side with the good guys for one time. It's great.
Well, I'm not trying to rush this through, but I found a pile of Disney movies, and The Music Man is on the bottom of that. We were just talking about this. This is the Matthew Broderick one.
Man.
But we know he can do his thing. I remember you have some criticisms of Matthew Broderick. I think his vibrato is all over the damn place.
Listen, Matthew Broderick, he's just an interesting guy. It's so interesting to see, because he was so big with Ferris Bueller, so such the biggest star, and then shortly after some crazy controversy happened in his personal life. He did War Games, he did Lady Hawk, all of those huge '80s movies, and then it was just
King.
He did The Cable Guy. The Cable Guy
was great.
Yeah,
he did Lion King. He was old Simba. So there's that.
Did you see the remake? Did you take your kids?
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on Disney Plus. I'll probably have to watch it with the kids at some point. But it's just kind of live. It's live action. It's not. It's everything has been live. Well, I'm sorry, no, everything's been live action. But this is it's just computer generated Lion King.
I would have taken a stage production of the musical, with just people in suits. That's how I would have preferred to see that movie, I think.
Okay.
Just because it wouldn't have just been computers making the entirety of the movie. And the other thing was, in all seriousness, you just kind of got the vibe that James Earl Jones was just kind of tired. He was just all right, let's just go one more time. Here we go.
Well, it's totally Indiana Jones. Play Indiana Jones again, Harrison Ford. He just looks disinterested. Even Han Solo. I mean, he was better as Han Solo than he was as Indiana Jones in Force Awakens. But But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, dance.
We're gonna have a future episode about the new Star Wars. Don't worry. Well, I'm not going into it right now. It's fine.
So
Anyway,
we have this a wealth of characters and casts, including speaking. Here's the Tim Allen connection. Is what's his face did the voice of young Simba? What was his name? The kid that was from
JTT. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is his name.
Yes.
But really shout out to Jeremy Irons as Scar.
Oh, yeah.
Great voice. And
Cheech Marin and Whoopi Goldberg is two of the three hyenas. And Nathan Lang and Matthew Broderick were together in this. And our favorite movie, our favorite movie adaptation of a musical, The Producers.
Fantastic.
Mel Brooks, and they're both in that too. So it's kind of cool to see, that. I got Toy Story 2.
It's near perfect movie. Honestly, I adore that movie. That's my kid's favorite right now, and it's my favorite of the series as well. It is so good.
And Randy Newman did some good music on it, on all those, and he also did the music for Monsters Inc. and Bugs Life, and I think even like this. Probably not the scoring of the orchestra, but he sure did. I think he wrote all like the melody lead lines and let somebody else do the. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I don't want to derail too much. But regarding that, my very first exposure to Toy Story was going to Disney World in high school and going to a Pizza Planet, and they had 2 to 3 songs on the soundtrack in that place, and one was "You've Got a Friend in Me." And in the time we were eating our lunch, we probably heard that song upwards of 8 or 9 times, and I was like, this is the worst. This is absolutely. It's a great little tune. It's fine, but to hear it, they are clearly just like, get the heck out of here, people. We don't want you loitering.
It's like following the same band down the street during a parade. They're just gonna play like the same 2-3 songs over and over again.
Yeah.
They probably played that really sad Sarah McLachlan song from this, huh? You think?
No, you know what? I don't recall that, and thankfully, because that's a tearjerker. It's
sure
really
is.
When She Loved Me or something like that. It's really sad. Yeah.
And that was who voiced Jessie? It was Joan.
Cusack. Joan Cusack. Also, Grosse Pointe Blank. Wait, no, that was an earlier conversation.
That was an earlier conversation. That's okay though.
Yeah,
we're talking about Dan Aykroyd earlier, everybody. And Kelsey Grammer did the. He was the old prospector.
Old prospector.
And Wayne Knight as the collector, right?
Oh yeah, man. Seriously, worth watching the making of Toy Story 2 because it went through an insane development process to ultimately be just phenomenal, so good. But for a very long time, it was not looking so hot for that movie. It's really interesting.
All right, I'm gonna hold up 3 at a time.
Love it.
We got Sandlot, Aladdin, and 101 Dalmatians. And this is okay, so this is all the DVD, all the Disney VHS seem to come in these really thick boxes. You say clamshells? I've never heard
of them. They're the clamshells, yep.
I didn't know that's what they were called, but yeah, look at this, everybody. So, it's like that's its home, and it took up a little bit more space, and it was a little bit taller than like here's Princess Bride, for instance.
Oh yeah.
Look at the difference there. I should back up. There we go. So, and how about thickness? About the same, a little thicker. You kind of see the outline, but obviously these took up a little bit more space, and they looked more special. I think. They did the right thing. I think. Let's get that back in there. They
kind of pop out. From
like
a presentation.
I must have watched the previews or something like that because there's just a little bit of tape in there that's been hit.
Oh man, remember commercials? So anytime you get a VHS with commercials on there, I'll cite specifically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has a Pizza Hut commercial at the top where they sing this song about playing right field. I don't know if you remember this at all, but it is so good, and honestly, another shameless recommendation. I play right field, the song at the top of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle VHS.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll check.
Moving on.
I'll check it out. So yeah, 101 Dalmatians, and which is like an old classic, of course. You know, it even says Walt Disney Classic on the front.
Oh yeah.
So they know what they were doing there. It must have not have been in the vault when we bought it there. That's the
No.
thing that Disney likes to do, is throw stuff in the vault and then hide it from you. And of course, this timeless classic.
Oh.
And every time I see this kid, Squints, I think of Andy Ament. Stealing kisses from lifeguards.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's kind of like an unfair
a tradition that he holds to this day, I've heard.
Here's why I think of it. Not only because they look a little bit alike, but Andy also liked quoting the forever.
Oh, forever, yeah. Not to be mistaken with "Throw the Heat" from Rookie of the Year. Anyway.
Yeah. The Great Bambino, and freaking Dennis Leary was in this movie. And
oh yeah.
I can't think of the actress's name. Who was in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
So Karen Allen is her name.
Karen Allen, I think you're
Karen
right.
Allen, yep.
Yeah, Marion Ravenwood.
Dennis. Man, I always forget that Dennis Leary's in that thing, but I'll never forget that he's in Demolition Man because, oh man. Anyway, all right. I think I saw the next one. Let's go to it. Yep.
This right here, Cool Runnings. No joke. I think I might have even told you this before, but this is my wife's favorite movie.
Wow.
Don't react like that. She'll see.
No, it's fine. Hey, like, honestly, everyone has their own reasoning for their favorite movie.
I mean,
my favorite movie is the Blues Brothers, and so like everyone has their own reasoning for the movies they love, and right on, as long as you've got passion for that sort of thing, it's wonderful. But
it is a delightful movie, and
John Candy is fantastic in anything that he was ever in. I mean, I love that guy.
Rest in peace, John Candy.
Seriously.
The back of here, like when it says, now with the help of an ex-champion as their coach, and then in parentheses, John Candy, it lists Uncle Buck as the movie that you should know him from.
Yeah.
Despite all the stuff that's come, I mean, that's cross-platform referencing and promotion right there. Because if I'm gonna pick a John Candy movie, it isn't gonna be Uncle Buck. I don't know. I mean, it's all right.
Good.
It's good, but it doesn't, like, I don't know. I guess I think about, like, oh man, like Spaceballs and jeez, what are some of the other good...
Spaceballs. I would say. I mean, even his. I mean, it's more of a cameo in Blues Brothers, but he's so funny in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, Uncle Buck. It's been a number of years. I need to actually go back and watch that thing. But I recall him making pancakes with a snow shovel at one point, I think, and I remember that being delightful.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, man. That is one of my favorites. Absolute Christopher Lambert. I mean, really, just the opening being on. It's a solid black background with red text, narrated by Sean Connery, and then cutting into Princes of the Universe by Queen. It is one of the most metal openings to any song. It is so good. I mean, I love that movie.
So, like, all the classical stuff was a guy named Michael Kamen. I'm not sure what other things he's worked on, but yes, song and additional music by Queen, which is, I mean, I remember, of course, You Want to Live Forever, or Live, or what, is that what it's called? Yeah.
They did New York, New York. There's a really weird Queen version of that on there. It's really odd.
Oh wow! I'll have to listen. I'll have to watch it again. I mean, maybe I can hook up the VCR and put boot this up.
It's worth a watch. Canon Films, and shameless plug for Electric Boogaloo, a documentary on Netflix all about Canon Films. Man, it's a wild story and an incredibly fun watch. But that's one of theirs. Very low budget, very, very hastily produced kind of thing.
A sci-fi action adventure featuring a dazzling array of special effects, which was the lightning, of course. You know, that was the biggest, like, you know, everything else was like, you know, practical effects.
Yep.
You know, like, I mean, like his throat being half slit and everything, or the Kurgan.
Oh man, and how about that
guy? Clancy Brown.
Yeah. he has had an awesome voiceover career in his late, and also, man, his role in Starship Troopers, absolutely fantastic. Great actor.
Shawshank Redemption. He's the
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's like the lead guard.
He-
Name off. Can you name off a couple of his voice acting things that you'd like to bring to everybody's
He was Lex
attention?
Luthor. He was Lex
Luthor,
Luthor
yes.
in Superman, and he was Mr. Crab from
Mr.
SpongeBob.
Krabs, yeah.
I'm blanking right now.
If you
for
watch
anything else.
if you watch the latest season of the Venture Brothers, he plays a bad guy that's like this
Man.
this devilish Red Skull looking guy, and he's he's mostly a delight to be around, but then in one episode they reveal why he's a villain, and he's just it's that voice. He was also there was some show on HBO called Carnival, and he was. And he was the bad guy in that. He was like a preacher or a pastor.
Oh, fantastic!
And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did an amazing job on that too. So I mean, I only watched the first season. I have no closure on that show, but just except for knowing that it was a good show. I think it got canceled after season 2.
After season 2, so I think a lot of even the hardcore fans didn't really get too much closure on that one, man.
So we're going a little bit. I know this is about VHS and everything, but this popped up. It's a 3 DVD collection of 3 Stooges.
Oh yeah.
And look at this tin that it comes in. Okay, right there they are. Yep. I think there's a couple Shemp episodes as well, and I like Shemp and Curly. I have respect for both. I know Shemp was the original actually. Curly came in later, and everybody loved him. But look at this. This is what this is all it should have been right here.
Packaged with love.
But
look at this attention to detail. That's fantastic.
And if you open up each one of these, obviously you can see like a Stooge behind each DVD.
Oh yeah.
And that's not the best part of this, because if you look on the inside, not only is there a little book that like has a bunch of information and facts. Like this is where I learned that Larry Fine was also a boxer. So even though he's like getting the crap beat out of him in all these episodes, he could have just completely destroyed Mo or Curly or Shemp. Yeah. But look at this red. What do you think this red thing up here is, Joe?
I have no idea. What the hell is that thing?
Look at this. Press the play, and what is it? There was something around that said, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah." Press the play, and let's see if it actually works. Oh, there's no battery left in it. You can hear like a chit 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 chit. Okay, so it's busted, unfortunately. But I remember it. I remember it. Basically just like, I'm thinking of circumstance, smack and everything. Just yucks and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Would have been great if that had worked. Damn it.
Awesome.
We'll add that in post.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. Okay, well, this is what kind of. Oh shit! I'm dropping things. Here's what I was talking about earlier. You have these. And you would record TV onto VHS, and I'm going to read the labels. Yeah,
Cody.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's right for John Candy. Let's see here. This one says.
Oh, thank you. Whoever said that. Yes, that's the one they need to be referencing. What a good movie.
Marcellus on Music, which I think my uncle made for me. It was when Marcellus talking about music, and I remember watching that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first off, it says, I'll try to hide it best I can. It says South Park and it's all scratched out. So I must have taped over South Park and I didn't want to get a new label. The label's barely coming up, but what it actually says right now is MST3K and stuff. And it says The Screaming Skull right there.
Oh, yeah. We've watched that one. We watched that. Of course, I mean, and we would be remiss without saying, of course, one of the best shorts at the top of that episode. Gumby. It's Gumby. Robot Rumpus.
Yes.
I made that reference in your during your show. Robot Rump.
Robo Rump. Yeah. Robot Rump. Where did Gumby get a Class F license?
every beat in that kills, and it is better than the episode The Screaming Skull.
He's digging. Gotta move the body upstate.
Gotta move the body upstate. Yeah, I mean it is yeah. Oh, thank goodness for the internal genitalia. I mean
so many great lines.
Ooh, it just kills, and then in that classic Gumby style, just perfect for a short.
How many episodes on that collection? Are you talking about the shorts from Stooges, or are you talking about MST3K? If we're talking about MST3K, probably no more than 2 episodes could have fit on a VHS, maybe even 1.
They're typically 90 minutes long,
yeah,
any given episode.
And these are, how long are these? Does it say? 120 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
The fact that it says MST3K and stuff, I probably I got a half hour to kill. You know, I probably added a half hour. As far as the Three Stooges, it looks like there's about 8 shorts on there. So there's that. All right, I'm gonna save this. Let's see that pile.
That's fine.
Let's save that for a little bit later. We're almost there. We got like 10 more left. Okay.
Oh, these are great. This is fun.
This is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying myself. Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah. Man, the speech that James Earl Jones gives is so powerful. Baseball has been deconstructed and reconstructed again, and it is the backbone of American culture and all this. And of course, features the song Jessica.
Yes.
You know, great.
And obviously, there's like a problem with the moon because it's really close, and I'm sure
it's
the
Majora's Mask moon. That moon's crashing down.
The waves are going nuts right now.
He's got 12 hours left.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's a lot of quotes here, but I do remember some lady calling some other lady a Nazi cow at a community meeting.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So there's that. Shoot to kill. I'm not
Shoot to kill. Is this
Oh wow, this movie. Have you ever seen this?
Wait, bring it back up. No. Great cast, actually. I've not seen this movie.
Is this? Let me see if this is the one I'm thinking of.
Tom Berenger, of course, of Major League fame.
So there's a twist in here. Okay. Basically, Kirstie Alley, who you can see is in that. Kirstie Alley is taking a bunch of people on a hiking trip, and these two guys are hired to bring in like a killer, okay? And the killer, they know that the killer is one of the people on the camping trip, and they've got to get to him. And even as the viewer, you don't know which one it is until it's like revealed, and you're like, holy crap! And if I told you who the bad guy was, if I revealed another name in the cast, you'd know exactly who the bad guy was. And it's somebody who often plays a really nice guy. So watch a little bit of that.
I'll have to check out Shoot to Kill. I mean, I got to tell you, if I saw that on the video store wall, I would have been a kid, but it's really great. There's a lot of suspense. It's beautiful.
Smoking gun. And Tom Berenger it's kind of like, you know, Sidney Poitier. Poitier, is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
He is he's like the city cop, and then the other guy is kind of like the rugged outdoorsman, the ranger who served in Vietnam, and he can get him there. He's the Rambo. Okay.
Oh yeah. And wait a minute, Cody? Have you seen Tango and Cash?
Yes.
That is almost identical to. Okay, great. All right, I just needed to make sure. All right, good.
Look at this. The person behind Kirstie Alley is the bad guy, and they did a great job hiding who it is.
Yeah, no, he's hidden in shade, like or hair. It's like it's a ring of hair around his head.
He's got a biter hair like that Deadite in Evil Dead.
Yep. Oh man.
Where the Heart Is, what some people would call a chick flick.
I mean, listen, I'm sure it's great. A lot of people work very hard on Where the Heart Is. I have no doubt in my mind.
Absolutely. It wasn't a knock on it at all. And it has Joan Cusack, who we've mentioned earlier, and Natalie Portman. That's her right there, of Star Wars fame.
Episode 2.
And 1 and 2 and 3.
It's funny just to reference the second one. It's a very weird thing.
You're right. I'm sorry. I stepped on your joke. From Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. I think that's a super bad joke, but that's fine. It's still very funny.
Oh, here's a great one. Classic.
Oh, yeah. Man, oh
There's a
man,
bunch of good sports movies in here in this stack, isn't there?
what a ridiculously good movie. Just fantastic sport movie.
Madonna, they let poor Rosie O'Donnell didn't make the.
Yeah, she didn't make the cut. I mean, honestly, like I get why you put Tom Hanks on there, but at the same time,
I mean, really,
I mean,
it should have been Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, and the gal who was from Tank Girl, and I can't think.
yes,
because
it should have been.
She was the I think she was pretty much like the third in line here, right? But yeah, it could have been, but it had to be Madonna or Rosie O'Donnell, and they went with Madonna because I guess she was just like huge at the time, right?
She was huge. It was a huge deal that Madonna was in a movie. Period. I mean,
I don't think Rosie O'Donnell had her show yet, so there was that. No,
not yet.
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau in Out to Sea.
Oh, wait a minute. What was the year this was made?
They're doing the tango, and the movie was, it seems to be, I'll find it. Walter, start naming off Walter Matthau movies and Jack Lemmon movies.
Grumpy Old Man.
Grumpier Old Man, even.
And remember when old people could headline a movie? It's so crazy that in the last 20 years, we had like movies that you had legitimately leading actors that were like older, and you just don't see anything quite like that anymore. But Dennis the Menace, he was Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace. Man, Walter Matthau. I'm kind of blanking, but I mean, Out to Sea.
Walter Matthau. I guess the Bad News Bears, of course, he was known.
Oh yeah,
for.
Of course.
Hail to the Chief, I want to say was the movie.
Yes, that's a great movie.
But it was also him and Jack Lemmon, right?
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Again, another one where it's like they put these older guys in the lead of a movie. It's just really interesting. That has completely gone out the window in the last 15 years.
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, the big screen's original odd couple, of course. We should have said something about that.
Oh, Butch League.
Star in this riotously funny high seas adventure. You gotta love high seas adventure when it shows up on the description. Yeah. It's everywhere, right?
Would think, it's not Pirates of the Caribbean. It's only Out to Sea, guys. I don't know if high seas adventure is really what we're going for.
In a search for lonely ladies with big bank accounts, happy-go-lucky Charlie Matthau cons his cranky widower brother-in-law Herb into joining him on an all-expenses-paid luxury cruise. They probably loved filming this movie.
I mean, I think they got a cruise. Like they're like, wait a minute, where are we going? Where for this? The Caribbean? Okay, great. Sounds great. Let's do it.
Somebody my mom in the chat said, "Oops, I hope that it wasn't that doesn't mean that it went out." Looks like I have. Man, we must have been really behind the times. I have the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, Joe, you've seen. I think you've seen this, but you've seen Dear Reader, Wizard People.
Oh yeah,
by Brad Neely. It's still on YouTube, and everybody. There's a guy named Brad Neely. He had a show on Adult Swim called China, Illinois, and
even before that, it was the Professor Brothers series
on Super Deluxe. On the website. And so basically,
just classic.
Brad Neely, with his awesome voice, just does a whole commentary to this movie like it's a book on tape. And that's
I stole the joke Catface Meowmers. Professor Catface Meowmers is just one of my favorite cat names for anything.
Just blow the whistle, he growled.
That sequence is phenomenal.
The Quidditch sequence was really, really funny on that video. We're not even talking about the movie itself. We're talking about the parody of the movie and the commentary. But basically,
it's
it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's Christopher Columbus. It feels very, solid. It's well made. Less good.
Less good. And also, the jerk on YouTube that tried to make a Dear Wizard People for this, just with not the brilliance of Brad Neely. It was rough. It was very rough.
Yeah. It just it's like it's a movie or it's a story that just introduces a bunch of expanded lore to that universe and just is not that interesting what it's actually saying.
The odd face they put on what's his name, Dobby.
Dobby.
That's a weird looking face they put on him. They could have made him they could have made him look like anything, couldn't they have? But
they could have. I mark my words. they should just remake Harry Potter from the. I mean, that's completely different from the cover.
Gritty reboot.
No, but if they did it so that each book was a single season, if they had a, each book was 6 to 8 episodes long,
Oh, like an
hour-long episode.
Yeah, because I mean, with all book adaptations, it's hard to fit into that much
Just
time.
take the time. Let the characters breathe. Actually, like, get your character. Like, no one's gonna complain. It would sell so many subscriptions to HBO Max or whatever streaming service. I'm like thinking about
oh crap, what was I just thinking about? And I lost it. The Jurassic Park movies. Like the first Jurassic Park is amazing, and they did a pretty good. I mean, there's some things they definitely left out of the book, but the Lost World book, I stand by, is like one of my favorite books. And
incredible book.
It's a shame it has, it's nowhere near what the movie was. Nowhere near what the book was. And there's just a couple liberties taken that was just like very strange.
Shout out to Jurassic Park 3 and that raptor on the plane saying Alan.
Alan.
If we had time and the ability to edit that in, that would be great to cut away to that clip, because man, that's comedic gold.
I mean, it's fantastic. There's a couple good places we could cut in here. Lori Petty was Tank Girl. Thanks, Mom. She was also recently in Orange is the New Black. If you ever watched that. I didn't watch the last season, but a couple movies. One I'm a little bit more familiar with, but this one I'm not as familiar with, called Going South. Jack Nicholson. And he's got the noose there. And I haven't watched this, but now it has John Belushi, Christopher Lloyd in it. I'm really wanting to watch this movie now. Now that and it's directed by Jack Nicholson, so that's interesting. 1978.
Not to be mistaken with Due West or what
Wagons
was the
East.
West,
You're probably right, dude. Yeah, another John Candy, of course, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That was his last movie, was it not?
Yes. It was, and Chris Farley had a very similar one where he had that gag with the eagle that he
Almost Heroes, right? Yeah.
Almost Heroes, yes.
Wow, that's
very interesting.
Both of those guys, like that's interesting that they both ended on a western.
Exactly.
A comedy western. So a third-rate outlaw in this romantic comedy set in the 1860s. Jack Nicholson is saved from hanging by intervention of a lovely young woman who agrees to marry and take charge of him.
I'm going to go ahead and cry foul. That title is terrible. GOIN apostrophe. You could just put the G. The apostrophe doesn't save you a character. It's going south. Going south. Like you see what I'm saying? You could just put a.
I guess they want you to say it in the southern accent. Like
going south.
Going south. I don't know. You might be right. I mean, it's probably good. I don't want to knock it. Looks like there's a Texas flag in the back, a little Lone Star State happening there. And that's all I get from this. Man, he sure doesn't look like he's getting ready to hang, does he?
No, he's driven like a real bandit.
Let's see if this one was rewound.
What's that sticker on there?
It was not. It says. Oh, look at this. It says, be kind, please rewind. And then up here, it says Rent-A-Flick. It's a possibility we either bought this after the place went out of business or we never returned it.
I'd like to assume the latter. That's fantastic. Oh, man.
Two more.
These are great. Okay.
Another one for couples to watch. French Kiss. St. Louis's own Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan. And I feel like there's somebody else here I should know that's in this movie. It says No, that's not who I'm thinking of. Kevin. Yeah, that's all you need to know really for right now.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I remember this movie. I can't remember. Somebody's living a lie. Probably Kevin Kline. You remember?
Spoiler alert: they're gonna end up together at the end.
And there's gonna be a Louis Armstrong song playing at the end as they walk
Probably.
through a vineyard, I think, because it's Paris.
What is it? Kiss to Build a Dream on?
I think so.
I mean, honestly, I
beautiful
will
song.
bet you money that it is Kiss to Build a Dream on right now.
It is. I know.
is. Yeah.
Give me.
Of course it is, because why wouldn't it be? I mean,
Yeah. That's a. I mean, that's a great walking away. That's a.
it's a
great walking away
terrific tune.
music.
Yeah.
So you probably remember Kevin Kline in Fish Called Wanda. You ever see
Oh, yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Oh, man, what a
fantastic
cast.
movie.
Did you ever watch
And of
Fierce
course-
Creatures?
A Fish Called Selma, absolutely outstanding episode of The Simpsons, in which Selma ends up marrying Troy McClure. Very,
That's
very
right.
funny, Benny. I mean, just fantastic.
I mean, as soon as you mentioned that, yeah, of course, yeah, that is a good one.
That's Planet of the Apes the musical.
Oh, is that? Oh, Dr. Zaius.
Yeah, it is. It's so good. Yeah.
I guess they made
Yeah.
a monkey out of me. Yeah.
The line of what is it? I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. I mean, like, when the writers wrote that, I'm led to believe that they just were like, we're done for the day. We're not topping that. That is so good.
I wonder if Conan O'Brien had a
I feel
line
like
in that.
that feels like something he would have done.
I don't want to give credit to the person who
it's so
doesn't need
funny.
to go to, but Richard Dreyfuss, Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Hans Opus.
You never hear about this movie anymore. I feel like this is one that it doesn't get talked about a lot these days.
I also wonder, you and I being band kids back in the day and everything, you watched this movie if you were in band.
Oh, yeah.
There was a
Of
day
course,
where they
of
turned
course.
out the lights and the band director didn't feel like doing anything. Watch Mr. Hans Opus for two classes. And
I recall a creepy sequence where he almost like left with a student.
He does.
That was a little like, oh man, that does not translate well now. That's
not
fine.
at all. And
Yeah.
it's weird. You did. I mean, when we were kids, you don't think about that, but now it's like that's
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah,
He
that's
almost left
probably
his family for this underage. I mean, we can't assume that she was 18, and either way, he was ready to give up everything.
everything. His family, his career, everything.
Everything. And luckily, hopefully, she made a name for herself. I hope she did well
Yeah.
in movie world, movie land. Joe, I want to thank you. We have one more.
Oh man,
And it's
thank you, Cody.
And it's a good one. Everybody, this is if it doesn't seem like, Joe and I are great friends. We've known each other since about 2002. Almost 20 years we've known each other. This next movie, I'm pretty sure I showed to Joe for the first time, and I was super excited to show it to him.
Oh man.
And what do you think it might be, Joe?
Let me think here. There's a lot.
I'll give you a hint. It's a sequel.
Oh yeah, it's Predator 2.
It isn't Predator 2, but it's in the universe. Eh?
Well, it's Aliens.
It's Aliens.
Of course, then it's yeah, it's Aliens. I mean,
We can talk
It's
about
so
Predator
good.
2, though. We can talk about Predator 2 because
I like Predator 2, actually. I will defend Predator 2. I don't think it's as bad as people make that one out to seem. It's really cool, but let's not get away. I mean, Aliens, man. I mean, Alien is just one of the most definitive horror movies. It's got that sense of solitude where Sigourney is just alone, and it's just creepy as all get out.
Yes.
That movie haunted my nightmares for years. And then Aliens comes out bigger. I think, and I will quote Cody Henry here. It's the kind of thing where you just want to see those Space Marines go on a couple missions before they go on this one that goes really south, because like they're so cool. Like you just want to know more about like what do these guys do whenever they're not fighting an impossible enemy in the Aliens.
Yeah.
Like they're so cool.
Yeah, because it seems like there's no other races or anything that they've discovered, in this futuristic sci-fi world, except for these aliens, of course. And so it's like, I mean, that means that those Marines were just militaristic and they dealt with people. you know? So
I think that's one thing that I love, and I think a lot of people do about the original Predator. You see that squad of commandos go up against that town of terrorists,
they
and you
do.
really
They
get
set
to
that
see
up.
them work. You get to see them how awesome they are. And then obviously whenever they're being picked off one by one, you're like, okay, the stakes are really high. This is
Yes.
awesome. So anyway, no, Aliens, man. I mean, Sigourney Weaver is so badass in that movie, so cool, such an awesome action hero.
Rest in peace,
And
Bill Paxton.
oh yeah, Bill Paxton. I mean, in so many of the 80s and 90s action movies, even into True Lies and things like that, he makes those movies with so much
that's
character.
right. You know, the dream sequence in True Lies when
Oh yeah, so good. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
a friend of mine, well, you know him, Matt Horman. We were
oh yeah.
Hold on a second, saying my internet connection is unstable. We'll just power through. But like Matt Horman and I were in Wind Symphony together, and like and I made this joke about like somebody was laughing in the front row, probably in your row. It might have been you.
It might have been me. It probably was me.
Joe played flute, and it was like ha 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 ha, and then like
laugh.
I did. Hey, I'm like, man, have you ever seen True Lies when he just like bashes that guy, and then he just like, it's like he spit out his water, and then like and every time like I would do like the thing would be always me like ha 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 ha, ha you know, and I could make Matt Horn break every single time. And it was really fun for me to do as probably a freshman in Wind Symphony, to make a grad student like lose it. So
but I mean, honestly, Aliens, it's got a nice scare factor. It's got the male lead of Mad About You. What is it, Paul Reiser?
Yes.
And, like, but really, man, when you're looking at a masterclass of practical effects, the Queen Alien in the end is so amazing. I mean, it just looks incredible. And it's the sort of thing that I feel like I've gone back to a couple times, and I'm just like, man, they just don't make things like that in movies right now. They would obviously use a computer. We even went to see, I think, the most recent Alien movie, and
what was it even called? That's how like
Covenant, Alien Covenant. Yes, not very good, but like Aliens on the alternative, it's filled with so many awesome sequences, and especially her on that lift going down to fight the alien queen.
Ooh, getting set up, yeah.
Oh man, like I think the self-destruct is going, and you're just like, this is gripping. It's so cool. Yeah, love that movie.
Sigourney
Fantastic.
Weaver leads a high-tech space combat team in the stunning sequel to Alien. Now, it wasn't this movie that this one scared the crap out of me too, but I mean, later on, this was probably the least scary of the first three.
Yeah.
But like,
of the three.
But watching Alien 1 and watching Alien 3 on TV scared the crap out of me, and I'll tell you why. On Alien 3, it was just seeing it was a CGI alien. It looked awful, but to me, it was like, holy crap. Just
you hadn't seen much like that before. That was new.
It was like ripping out. Man, look at how far back the chat is on mine, or showing up on my computer. They're talking about Kevin Kline. So that's fun.
Oh no,
that's fun. They're talking
lag.
about French Kiss, and we're talking about this. It's like that's like a 5-minute lag. What the hell?
This is like that really funny Mr. Show sketch, the pre-taped in a call-in show, where he's like, people keep calling in about the topic from last week, and he keeps getting pissed off. It's so funny. Mr. Show.
So it was the part of the CGI alien ripping people apart scared the crap out of me. That, and also the fact that you could die in your sleep. From aliens, like they'll get you.
The one that always got me from Alien was, of course, the duct. Whenever he was in the duct, and it was like, it's closing in on you, and then it's just right behind him. It's just like, and I just as a I probably saw it 13, 14, and I had not really done a lot of horror movies up to that point in time, but man, that got me good.
Let me get the chair out of the way and let me recreate that scene, because this is the scene, okay?
It really is like, ah! I know that now, Cody. But at the time, I was like, it's such a great buildup of a sequence. I know.
He's got these webbed hands, and he's like, "Meh," you know, and they're talking about Mr. Holland's opus in the chat now. Why is it that far behind? It's really odd that it's that far behind.
Oh no!
But I'm not mad. I think that's a funny, quirky thing about this. He was
Cody.
good in What About Bob too. Thanks, Scott.
Oh yeah. No, I love What About Bob. What a good movie, man. Cody, this has been a ton of fun.
Yes.
To everyone watching, I hope you got a good chuckle about our non sequiturs about all these movies, going off topic left and right. Seriously, thank you all for joining us tonight, and this has been a blast. I hope we get to do some more of these.
I hope so too, and I'll post this on my YouTube channel and everything, of course, after a little bit of editing. And but I think as we close out the show, we gotta close it like we always close it out, and that of course is watching the.
Wait a minute. Wait, before we get to that, let's do watching recommendations. Cody,
Yes.
What are you watching right now?
What am I watching right now? I am watching My Hero Academia, and I've told Joe multiple times to watch the show. It's a great anime. Obviously, Academia suggests it's a school setting, but it's about a character who is has no special superpowers, and all of a sudden he gets one. And it's about his journey to become the greatest. And his mentor is voiced by Christopher Sabat, who did the voice for Vegeta and Piccolo in the Dragon Ball Z franchise. So
I finally watched the first season of that show. I started into the second season, and then I realized it was I think 60 episodes long, and I kind of backed off a little bit.
Dragon Ball Z or?
Oh no, my hero.
Oh yeah, it's a long. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a long. Yeah, it's 15 or so episodes per season, something like that. And there's
okay. Well, maybe I need to go back and check it out,
because there's 4 seasons right now. So I guess it's about, that makes sense, about 16 per or 15 per. It's usually broken up into halves and everything. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. It's a lot of fun. And as far as games I'm playing, I've been playing like a little downloaded game with my daughter called Piku Niku. Which is a cute game. And what else? I recently beat Link's Awakening for the first time.
Oh, yeah, what a game.
The music from that is it's very memorable. That's the thing about all these video games. Like I got a list of stuff. Like I record stuff on my show occasionally, in a studio setting, and I write arrangements for myself to play. And I've got arrangement ideas here. And part of the list, it's pretty much all. Like, aside from The Urge, I'm going to do something by The Urge. Hopefully, eventually. I also just arranged something by the Foo Fighters, which is fun.
Nice.
But Cadia was a classic game. Anything from Zelda, anything from Mario Kart, Castlevania, probably do like Vampire Killer or something like that. Yeah.
I would put my request in for Link's Awakening, Tall Lights. It is so good. It's when you're up on the mountain. It's really, really good. Just a fantastic tune in that game. And just listen to the original Game Boy version of it first. Like, go back and and you're especially when the bass cuts in, you're like, oh, this is it's just next level, man. It's so good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right now rewatching Arrested Development. I've never gone through season 4 and 5 of that show, but I'm intending to plow through. We'll see. If we keep doing this, I'll update if I actually make it. And then playing a ton of Animal Crossing. My God, it is possibly one of the most timely released games ever made, in that it came out during a global pandemic, and it's a game to go live on a remote island. It is so fun and so relaxing, and that's another one. The music isn't amazing like a Zelda game, but it's really good. It's all really good quality stuff, and it's nice.
The other thing that I've watched recently, and it's like, man, we got to power through this because you invest so much in it, and I'm never gonna do it again. But the Office, the last 2 seasons of The Office, as soon as the show, and the cast is great, and it's kind of funny, and it's funny, but like it definitely loses something.
They may go for a while after he was on. It's interesting.
They made what's his name? Guy's name was Robert California. Who played him? Oh man.
I'm trying to
dude,
think
the
now.
dude from Stargate. Shit.
Oh, it's James Spader, the voice of Ultron.
And Ultron. There's two Ultron.
Because everybody's in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Man.
Speaking of, Josh, or was it Brolin, from Goonies? Man, that's so awesome.
He's the older kid, isn't he?
The older brother, Goonies.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I would have never made the connection. Sean Astin in that too, who was recently in Stranger Things season 2, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not going to tell the story. That's fine. Anyway, and then just finished. We'll get into Luigi's Mansion 3 hopefully pretty soon.
We have that here, and I've been letting my daughter play through it, and she's not getting terribly far through it, but like I feel like any of those Luigi's Mansion games, you have to have a little bit of patience and everything.
Yeah,
and she's
it's a little puzzle.
Yeah,
it's a little puzzle.
Yeah. So we might have to play that one together a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, it's man, it's a drag that the comment section have far behind because they're talking about aliens and they're mentioning like Prometheus and like, man, I would have loved to have talked about Prometheus with some people.
Yeah, we could have talked Prometheus for a while. I mean, again, if this is popular enough, we can start doing some kind of series-based stuff. We could even do.
Even if it's not, I would just love to. This is a fun
I
time.
welcome it. I would absolutely welcome it, seriously.
You and I have had conversations where I'm like, man, I would have watched that again, probably.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's like
it's funny. Not to be too nostalgic right now, but I really didn't know Cody so much until he moved in, until we actually became roommates. That was really kind of